Hello everyone and welcome back to the Fandoms Edge podcast, your monthly home for discussion on games, TV, film and everything in between. As usual, we're your hosts, Joe, and the man who thinks burning his weekly shop will help in a heist, Tom. Tom, I know better than to ask for context, but context?
That's reference to me when I was streaming Payday 3.
No, I guess that much.
Yeah. Basically, one of the original heists that was in the beta, the bank heist, when it goes loud, you have to place thermite in a little container, and the thermite is in orange bags. And Jay has always referred to them as shopping bags, and burning your shopping through the floor.
So you're putting them in Sainsbury's bags you've got left over. Honestly, disgraceful.
Also, you struggled with your name there. You were like, "We're your hosts, Joe." Yeah.
I know who I am.
Do you?
Beep boop. Okay. Anyway, moving on from me struggling with words and the English language in general. Today we will be talking about December's gaming releases, Star Citizen, Game Awards, and what's coming next year. Tom, leave that in. We'll just, it's fine. Editing Tom.
Yeah, so it's all good. I was going to keep that in.
Current Tom.
Keep it in.
What have you been up to? Current Tom, not editing Tom. Current Tom. What have you been up to?
Star Citizen mostly over the last month.
Imagine my surprise.
Bit of Le Mans Ultimate. A bit of COD Zombies. Because the new map came out. It's a castle.
Okay.
And there are swords, and there are 4 elemental swords as well. So
okay,
that's quite cool. Also,
so I think, are you the avatar and you control all 4 elements?
No, it's 1 for each player because 4-player co-op. Also, I think multiplayer and zombies are free at the moment. So Joe, if you want to try zombies, now is the time. Okay.
I commit to nothing.
I have been watching. This was last couple of days because I had a gander on Disney Plus, and the new season of 911 Lone Star's out, and 911 as well. So I started watching both of them now. So 911 has 8 episodes versus Lone Star I think has 2 out.
Yeah.
Yes, because I don't know if you remember, I sent you an image of the new 911 series of the bees.
Oh, yeah, I think I remember.
Yeah. So, are you on the original 911 yet, or are you still doing Lone Star?
No, I did start the original after I finished the last season of Lone Star.
But now we've got a new season of Lone Star.
Yeah, I've not got that far into it, and I was like, "Oh, Lone Star's back!" And I watched 2 episodes of that straight away, basically.
Also, I started watching Skeleton Crew. Have you watched Skeleton Crew?
I have. I don't know how I feel about it yet.
I really like it. I know it's like silly and it's child actors and all that, so of course the writing's going to be a bit goofy, but I like it because what they're representing is the fact that this planet, it's isolated. They have no idea about Order 66 at all. They have no idea.
Yeah, that's true.
No idea about Vader or Luke or the Rebellion. They know nothing, and I want to know why. Because they've got this barrier, don't they?
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm interested to see what comes out of this story and what we learn. Because that is a question, like why are they cut off from the galaxy? What's going on here? What's this all about? But like I say, I mean, at the moment, I'm a bit like, It's look, kids don't always strike me as the greatest actors.
Yeah.
In the nicest of ways possible. There's a reason they say don't work with kids or animals. So yeah, like in that sense, I'm a bit like, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I think
I'll be interested.
The general perception as well online has been very positive. I've found as well. Everybody's sort of liking it, which is good.
Well, that's good. That is good.
Obviously,
yeah, look, I can't knock it. There's just a few moments where I'm like, oh, it's a child acting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for reminding me. Yeah. No, I don't know. I will give it a chance. I'm excited to see more of it, and as you say, kind of learn a bit more about the story. Because
obviously, by episode 2, it is a little bit slow going. But what I do like is seeing Star Wars in a civilian element, if you know what I mean. Up to this point, we've really seen it in the more, if you're a Jedi or a scoundrel or, you know, whatever. But now we get to see it more of how, particularly at the start, how normal life is for a normal person that isn't particularly special. How do they commute to work? How do their houses, you know, what do they look like? You know, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair.
And I like that. I like that. Yeah. Obviously, we've only really got to Jude Law bit right at the end of bloody episode 2. So
yeah, he appears for like 10 seconds at the end. So.
Yeah. So hopefully now we'll get more of him now that we've seen his character.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know about you. He is 100% the pirate guy at the start that got bloody mutinied across because they found
100%.
I could. Do you know what I could tell? It's his voice. It's his. Yeah, you can tell it's him behind that bloody mask, that helmet.
He has a very distinct voice, doesn't he?
Yeah, and you can just tell and they've obviously, you know, you can link it because the pirates have put him in the brig.
Yeah, no, 100%, 100%. Yeah, right. Is there anything else you've done this month, Tom?
No, you can talk now.
Feels like you have been busy this month.
Relatively, yeah.
I have not been as busy. I've also played some Star Citizen.
I wonder with who. I can't tell.
It's your fault.
I don't know who it is.
I blame you. I've been playing some Empire at War again. I've also gotten back into Star Wars: The Old Republic recently.
Recently, as in yesterday. Yes, I noticed that. Yep.
No, actually more than just yesterday. I've been playing it a little bit this week. I don't know why. I just suddenly had a hankering for playing it, and I was like, yeah, let's do that, and I'm into it again. The obsession has restarted.
Cool. Nice.
What have I been watching? Yes, I've watched Skeleton Crew. I've watched Lone Star. I've been watching a lot of Top Gear this month.
Nice.
Back into the classic ones. You know, I think that's it. I think that's it. I can't say I've done that much this month. What I will say though, before we go any further into this podcast, is Happy Christmas, Tom.
Yeah, you too.
And Happy Christmas to our listeners or viewers, whatever platform you watch/listen to this on. Hope you're having a fantastic Christmas. Slightly after we release this. Yeah. Welcome to the Christmas cast.
He has his hat on. I have my Coca-Cola truck t-shirt on, which you can only half see. So if I sort of like do this. There you go. There we go.
Tom, you have no legs.
What do you mean? What do you think I'm sitting on?
There were no legs, Tom. It was just a torso floating.
Didn't you know I just sit at this desk all day? I don't actually have any legs. I wasn't born with any. That's why I'm so busy on here. Anyway. Shall we talk about game releases for this month?
Yes, Tom. December. Take us through the game releases.
There's been sort of 4 main things this month. There's been Delta Force. You've played like 2 minutes of it when it was in beta, and you said you didn't like it.
Yeah, I'm not big on it.
But you could always download it to try the extraction mode with me. at some point in 2050 when you have time. So that was released on the 5th.
He's not wrong.
On the 4th. I mean, to be fair, you did say you wanted to try an extraction mode.
Yeah, no, I did.
Many podcasts ago. But yeah,
yeah.
To be fair, there is one coming out next year. Arc Raiders, I think you said you were semi-interested in, actually. You probably don't remember. You're like, no.
No, I don't. No. But, you know, we'll check it out when we get there.
You know, anyway. The 4th of December. Surprise, surprise. None of us have actually bought this yet. Euro Truck Simulator 2 Grease DLC.
Look, I'm not going to lie. I saw that and then went, I better go buy that. So I've just loaded up Steam. I'm looking.
Are you going to buy it live on the podcast right now?
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Hang on, where is it? £10.
They usually are £10. What are you on about?
Oh, hang on, it's all right. If I buy the Balkans bundle, which I already own all of the other DLC, 20% off.
Oh, nice.
So I get to buy the Grease DLC on its own, $7.99.
Oh,
yeah, I'll do that.
Nice. That's cool.
Thank you, Euro Truck.
I wonder. Grease.
Oh. Do you know, whilst we're here, maybe I should buy a farming sim as well.
Does I know we discussed it last month, but
yeah.
Does Baker has it, doesn't it? Doesn't he? The farming simulators.
He does, yeah.
Oh well, so that would just me to buy it then.
I don't know if I'm going to buy it. I don't know. I've got ATS DLC to buy as well. Oh god, I'm so behind. Oh, what am I doing?
Oh, CD Keys doesn't have it.
What? Farming sim?
No, Grease DLC.
Oh, okay. Does it have farming sim though?
Yeah, it should do. Farming Sim 22. Not 22. No.
No, it's 25.
25. And it is $25.99 on there.
Actually, it's about 40 quid on Steam, so that seems worth it.
The Year 1 bundle, Year 1 edition is $42.99 on CD Keys. So that's yes. Yes. Moving on. Yeah, Grease DLC was out. We haven't tried it yet because we've not bought it yet, but Joe's just bought it. So yes. Anyway,
I'm in the process. I'm just trying to remember my password.
Right. Well, while he does that, on the 6th of December, Marvel Rivals hero shooter. That I've been looking forward to. Joe doesn't do that.
No.
He don't like them.
No, I'm not interested.
But
I've switched off.
It's definitely better than Overwatch. Since Overwatch 2, I've sort of phased myself out because Blizzard have ruined it. But Marvel Rivals is here, and the great thing. What?
On that point, sorry.
What?
Have you heard what the
I posted
the Overwatch 2, is it dev or something that's come out and started commenting on?
Oh, right,
this?
yeah. So I posted. Did I post this in my Discord? I think I did.
Don't know. Pass.
Let me see. Yeah, I know what you're referring to because I posted it somewhere. I think it was in my Discord and another one. Yes. So I said, how much level of stupid is in this tweet? Yes. He is a former Blizzard CEO, by the way.
Oh, former Blizzard CEO. Okay. Cool.
Not just a dev, former CEO of Blizzard.
Yeah.
And he said, looks like Overwatch Marvel Rivals ships tomorrow, much like Modern of Motrium, a clear copy of HCZ out of China. I mean, even the character name, Widowmaker and Overwatch versus Black Widow and Marvel Rivals, lol. NetEase/Tencent, all the same. And he got community noted, basically saying, let me try and grab it. Oh no! He's deleted it! Oh, he got community noted basically saying, "Oh yeah, Black Widow is was made in whatever year as a comic versus Overwatch in 2016." You know.
Yeah, the character of Black Widow is older than Overwatch itself.
Yeah. Like.
Yeah.
How can you... He's been so stupid, he's deleted it. Yeah.
I mean, at least he recognises he's been dumb. But that's terrible.
Someone I follow who's an artist that does Overwatch stuff. I saw him comment on this. That's the only reason why I saw this. And this person was like, I honestly thought this was just a random person just doing a stupid take on Twitter, but then he realised it was the ex-CEO of bloody Blizzard, which makes it worse.
Honestly, if everyone at Blizzard isn't cringing at the sight of that, like, oh god, why did you open your mouth? Then honestly, what is going on at Blizzard? That would be my reaction if I was working at Blizzard right now.
Yeah.
Oh, stop talking, please.
And then on the 9th of December, we've got Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Now, in our notes, and I'm going to put it on screen on YouTube, I put the PC system requirements on because, yes, this is a topic to discuss, isn't it? Yes, it is. Machine games. Do you know how to optimize a game? Evidently not, because I'm looking at the system requirements thinking, what the hell? Are you smoking? So, as you know, I've expressed my interest in this game, but since the system since the system requirements coming out, I'm like, do I want to? Do I want to spend the money to go into this? So, bear in mind that ray tracing is always required, no matter if it's the standard rendering or the full ray tracing. That's what it says in the additional notes. So. It could just mean one aspect is constantly ray traced, right? But an i7 10700K. Now, I researched this CPU. For those people that aren't very tech savvy, you might think an i7 for minimum, that's outrageous. But some more modern i5s beats an i7, depending on how old it is. That i7 is from 2020. So it's 4 years old. Is that CPU.
Wow. Okay.
So it's probably not as bad as you're all thinking.
Yeah.
So I sort of, because I was curious what your PC was, and yours is a Ryzen 7.
If you remember this, you're doing better than me.
No, I looked back on your Discord because you posted your specs. I actually looked for it on your Discord today.
Why did I post that?
And I think
on my media channel or something.
I just searched, I think, specs or something. I scrolled down a bit because I think you have a Ryzen 7 7600X, I think.
Yeah, sounds about right.
So, or it might be the 7700, which is here. Maybe. Anyway, I figured that you're almost the reverse. See, my CPU is a 2021 i9, right? And that puts me in between minimum and recommended, I think. In fact, no, it puts me on minimum because it's actually, the performance is equivalent, basically, to that i7 10700K. I have 32 gigs of RAM, which puts the RAM in the recommended spot, but I have a RTX 3080, and that's a 3080 Ti. So I'm basically that table line between minimum and recommended. That's where I am. And mine's only a 3-year-old PC. It's a bit intensive, I think.
I found it. Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. The game looks nice from what I've seen. It's a bit ridiculous because a 4090 for ultra on full ray tracing as well. I mean, that's a brand new. You know, it's expected, but still, because that's what's that required with DLSS 3. with generation and super resolution preset. So that's with DLSS. That's not native. That's needing assistance for it to run. Yeah, that's why I'm not sure. I've been burnt a few times this year, or the last couple of years, of a game not performing that well. So it makes me think: should I, or shouldn't I? You know, from what I can tell, I can probably do minimum. So what's that? That's the low preset, isn't it? Yeah. I could maybe actually. The minimum is low, the recommended is high, so I recommend I probably can, because of my RAM and my graphics card, I could maybe do medium settings, I'm thinking. But still, like, it's thoughts?
Thing is, like, these are very high specs, or they seem very high specs anyway.
Yeah.
The problem I foresee is, I imagine you're going to want to stream this.
Oh, I would want to, but I don't think I will.
I don't think you'll be able to.
No, because there's my GPU and CPU is going to be working so hard to try and run it. I'm not going to have enough spare to stream it.
You're not going to have the resources to dedicate to streaming it.
It's going to do what Star Citizen does when I try and stream it. Because obviously Star Citizen is CPU intensive rather than GPU, which I really wish they'll change. Because I was looking on the usage the other day when I was playing, and my GPU is only doing 30-40% when running Star Citizen. It's not being fully utilized at all. Even up in the graphics settings, it's still only using 30-40%. And we know
that's weird.
We know Star Citizen's more CPU intensive, but and that is probably the reason why I can't stream it, because I would like the graphics card to use more, please.
I wonder why it's sticking to like 30-40%. Like, why is it so low?
Yeah, but this is probably going to be the same, really. Technically, you could say it's bottlenecked, whatever. That's when you need to sort of think about changing. Well, to prevent that bottleneck, you either up your graphics settings so the graphics card does more. Then there's upping the resolution, which means you'll get less frames, yes, but it makes your graphics card be shorter. Instead of like jumping to, oh, I need a new graphics card, you'd first up the graphics. That's free. Then a monitor. If you're running say 1080p, up it to 1440p, and it will work more and it will look nicer. And then, because that's cheaper, getting a monitor is cheaper than getting a new graphics card.
Oh, yeah.
And then you get a graphics card, if that was the situation. But because it's Star Citizen, because it's it's a bit different. It's in alpha. It's still not fully optimized. It's sort of, I'm not bottlenecking basically on other games.
Right, Tom, it's still an alpha.
I know. Who would have thought?
What?
Anyway, yeah. Indiana Jones, Great Circle, 9th of December. It's also got an early access, so yeah. Don't like that. But anyway. Yes, quite intensive for the PCs. If you've got an Xbox, I think it runs fairly smooth. PlayStation release is coming in the spring, I think. It's a few months away. Because it's a timed exclusive for Xbox. Yes.
Okay.
So, I just mentioned Star Citizen, which is exactly what we're going to talk about. Again. But people, don't panic!
It's another 3-hour podcast on Star Citizen. No, I'm joking.
No, it's not. It really isn't. This is a couple things. There's one thing I want to talk to you about that we missed from the panel that we didn't sort of go through, Brave New Worlds. But before that, IAE, because me and you went basically IAE throughout roughly majority of the 2 weeks. Thoughts?
Yeah, so I think this is I've attended other IAs, but I've only done maybe a couple of days out of the lot or whatever, and I don't think I've ever bothered renting any of the stuff at it, so I've literally just gone and had a look around the ships. So yeah, this is the first time I did every single day of the actual expo, and I think I rented something, maybe not every day, but most of the days.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is my first time actually jumping in ships and flying around and doing stuff. And generally, it was pretty good. I think there was a few quite frustrating things that happened in that time, like, you know, bugs. I understand some of this is because of how many people were in kind of the same area.
Yeah.
And it's obviously, you know, causing things to work a lot harder than they could or can. So obviously that's led to some issues, like the issues with the elevators and stuff like that. Yeah, one thing that's less to do with IAE and the IAE rewards related. Tom knows.
Uh-oh.
Tom knows exactly where I'm going.
Here we go.
Yeah, no. So for those of you not familiar, there was a thing called IAE Academy, which was kind of a reward for attending the expo and doing some things within the game.
Yeah.
Which you had to complete.
I don't think they've done this before either. This is new as well.
Oh, okay, fair.
I think. I don't.
You've had to complete 3 of the tasks to get the rewards, and it was a set of armor, some weapons, and a t-shirt. Right? All good fun. However,
the armor's really nice, is what we're getting at, and
the armor is really nice.
Joe really wants it. So
it's really nice. Yeah, no. So obviously, you know, they said, look, you can get this. You just need to do 3 of these things out of the 5, and we'll drop it in your account. There's no way of tracking it in game. It tracks through the website. Oh dear.
So what didn't it do?
Dear.
So what didn't it do?
It didn't track. It didn't track for a bleeding week.
Yeah. Everyone was having mixed, I think, experiences with it. Some people's was working flawlessly. Some others was it was half working. Like mine was half working, and then you've got Joe, where it was basically not working at all.
So I kept looking on the forums to try and see what people were saying, see if there was like a fix, if there was something maybe I was doing wrong that I needed to do for it to start registering. But I was trying to find any answer to make sure I got this, and it was a mix of people going, "What's your problem? It's gone straight in. I've just visited the expo and it's shown up. I've just delivered some cargo and it's shown up," and you know, all this. And then you've got a group of people on there going, "Well, I've done all 5 of the activities and not a single one is showing on the tracker."
Yeah.
Oh, I've done it on day 1. We're now on day 7 and nothing's showing up. And I'm like, oh, that's me. I'm like that person. Oh no, what's happening? So I raised a ticket. I raised a support ticket and I said, "Hi, really worried I'm going to miss out on this. Can you make sure these are added to my tracker so that I get the rewards?" 10 days. 10 days before I got a response.
Oh, you actually got a response. Last time that you said anything to me, you didn't get anything.
Yesterday I got a response. Yesterday. I got a response yesterday to say, "Hi, we've deposited in your account now. Case closed." After you ignored me for 10 days. No, now I'm annoyed at your terrible customer service.
To be fair, when I was getting all those crashes, due to my low memory and all that, I actually raised a support ticket. It took them a while to get to me. I think generally their support is slow. I think
slow, non-existent, Tom. There is no support. I'm fairly certain the response I got, it could have been AI generated, right?
Like
there is no support team.
The thing is, I did all that they asked for as well, because usually when it's a tech issue, they ask for your game.log and your DXDialog and all that kind of stuff.
Right, yeah.
Because mine was technical rather than anything else. So, yeah. Yes.
But yeah, it took them 10 days, but then when I hopped on there yesterday, I saw that they'd replied, and then later on that evening it appeared in my hangar. So I have finally got the rewards, but it just, for me, it kind of smacks of some of the things I've been talking about, where, you know, my frustrations with time and stuff, and it just kind of feels a little bit like they just don't care about their player base. Or that's the impression I've got from this experience. Which is kind of something I've talked about before, so I'm not going to go into that rant again. But other than that, the actual expo was fun. I enjoyed playing with you and a couple of the guys. And yeah, I had a good time, and I'm interested to play a little bit more with you, definitely. Especially now, I will say, performance issues aside, now that we're out of the expo, I'm not seeing those performance issues. So I really do believe it was just where everyone was focused on one area.
Have you been in since I finished?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only hopped in once. I only hopped in for a little bit. I had no elevator issues. They worked fine. I did notice that the tram was drifting outside of the tram line.
It tends to do that.
Traveling.
I think it's a bit of desync, yeah.
Or when it comes into the terminus, it comes in, but you can see the terminus is off at an angle.
Yeah.
So you've got your tunnel going like this, and then the terminus is up there, and you're like, oh god, this is going to hurt. Oh, I've popped in.
Yeah. I sort of want to...
There was one time where the tram turned up, except it turned up like that. At an angle pointing downwards, and I was like, oh, I could fall through the floor here. No, I'm fine, and I've reverted to the right angle. Very, very strange. Very desyncy, but I've not experienced anything like that. Everything seems to be working fine since the expo, so it's definitely a sort of a server instance thing, I would imagine. Also,
during IAE, Joe was officially christened in Star Citizen. For those people that don't know, there is one issue that every single Star Citizen player experiences, and he experienced it for the very first time, therefore he has been christened as an official. He is one of us now. For those experienced, you will know about the death of Elevator. He experienced his first one. Don't worry, we've all been there several times. Several times has it happened to me and everybody else. You're lucky it's only happened to you once. Anyway, you slightly mentioned to me, you've got a favourite manufacturer out of trying them all.
I have. So, having attended every single day now and seen all of the ships, I think I've settled on one that I kind of like the design of most. And I can't say that I'll fly them all of the time, but it will probably be the ones that I come back to most of all. Yeah. And that is Anvil. They have a very militaristic feel and very rugged, very rough, but very built for purpose. And I just really like the look of it, and I like the way that a lot of I tried out a couple of their stuff, and I just like the way they fly. It just feels really nice, and I can see myself. I want to pick up is it a Hornet now?
Yeah.
Their fighter. I want to pick up one of those
because there's the regular one, but now there's the Mark II as well.
Yeah, I still want the classic, but I know I can't get them anymore.
Well, if you want to try out a classic, I have one as a loaner for my Scorpius.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I have one. So it's a two-seater one, just like the Scorpius. So if you want to do some fighter stuff and be a gunner in the back, we can.
I'd be interested to. I'd be interested to give it a little fly at some point as well. Definitely.
We can take out the OG Hornet. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Because funnily enough, I didn't wait for the Scorpius. I got it and it was flyable when I bought it because they released it, but it still had a loaner attached to it. And they sometimes do this just in case, I think, if you have an issue or something, or just have another one. So I still have the loaner for that. So yeah. Yeah,
no, that'd be cool. It'd be nice to check that out.
Yeah. So the next question is, how has the fleet changed, Joe? Your finger slipped, didn't it? He bought something during IAE.
Oh, I would never. I wouldn't buy things. I'm good, and I know Christmas is coming, so I would never buy a thing. I bought a Fury. I bought the TIE Fighter. The TIE fighter is mine. I'm going to do the meow as I fly past things.
Yes. So when I refer to the fleet, I actually refer it not just to my personal fleet. I actually refer it to our entire group's sort of fleet. So by the time I'm editing this, I should have an up-to-date one, including your Fury and David's new toy, which he did a fresh CCU chain for. He has bought the Star Lancer TAC, which isn't out yet, but that means he gets the Max, the cargo variant, which is currently viable as a loaner until such time.
Oh, okay.
So we'll have that to play around with, as well as his Polaris. When we can, I suppose we'll crew the Polaris when we have 3 or 4 people, maybe. I don't know. It depends what we're feeling, I think, really.
3 seem to work quite well.
Yeah. 3 to 4, coincidentally, because I think actually it's a minimum of 8 or something or whatever. So yeah, we've made it work. Yeah. So here's the Star Lancer Max as a loaner, so that's cool. We can do some cargo stuff and other stuff with that because it is really good to fly. I don't know if you've flown it at all, because I'm obviously the dedicated pilot at the moment, so I basically chauffeured everybody around all over IE.
Yeah, I don't think I got a chance to fly it. I mean, it is quite interesting.
I mean, I kept saying if anyone else wants to fly, they can do, but everyone was like, no, you fly.
Yeah, but wasn't this when I was having fun sitting in the captain's chair?
Yeah, because you sort of, you came in and you were like, well, this was in the Polaris, and you were like,
oh yeah,
that's mine.
I assumed the position.
Yeah, yes, just instantly there.
I was just, well, this chair's free. Oh, I'm in charge now. Oh, I like this.
You thought you were on the USS Enterprise, didn't you, with that configuration?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah,
I can't lie.
Yeah.
It was. it definitely had that feel when I was like, oh, this feels right.
It is in that right configuration as RSI with that sort of stuff when it has a captain's chair, because obviously it's got the pilot at the front and the co-pilot and stuff like you would expect on the USS Enterprise. Yeah,
no, definitely. That's probably the best feeling I've had flying a ship. Yeah. I was doing nothing, right? I had no purpose whatsoever. There was nothing you can do from that captain's chair.
Well, you can flick through the MFD screens, but...
Oh, I can do so much. There's nothing I can do from that chair.
Yeah.
Nothing.
That's about it. Yeah.
And yet, I felt powerful, and it was great.
Real
power trip.
David was like, this is my ship, but he's just assumed control here.
David, sorry. I will do it again. If you vacate that chair, it will be mine. I will jump in your grave, and I will not be afraid to do so.
Anyway, yeah, so the TAC that he has is special and is really good for you because it has a hangar designed for the Fury, obviously. Obviously, we discussed this last month, but yeah, so it's quite fitting. I bought something as well. I bought something that had an LTI, which was the little new pickup truck that was unveiled at CitizenCon, the SCV.
Oh, yeah.
Just for the purpose so I can upgrade and gradually, get something from that. So we have a pickup truck that's basically going to be useless and we're probably not ever going to use, but it's there for the purpose to be upgraded to something. Yes.
That's fair.
Maybe months when it releases, we might have an ironclad. Who knows? Who knows?
Oh, Tom.
Ironclad? Isn't that the double caterpillar? The fatterpillar? Yes, it is.
Fatterpillar.
That's what the community calls it. It's the fatterpillar. It's like they've merged 2 caterpillars together. Therefore, it's called the fatterpillar.
Oh my god. Okay. Well, I've never heard it referred to as that before.
Yeah.
But sure.
Big cargo ship. Anyway, so there was one thing that, well, one panel we missed for CitizenCon, because there's a lot when it comes to CitizenCon, and you can't fit it in one podcast. So Brave New Worlds was all about the planet tech. They unveiled about things like the sound and the audio, as well as the POIs on the planets. So on one side of the planet, by the way, there was going to be, I think, 1,000, 2,000 POIs. So you'd be traveling, and every few kilometers there would be a point of interest.
Okay, hang on, wait. Is that going to be stuff that highlights from space when you do your quantum drive? Because that's going to make finding anything impossible.
Probably yes.
Right, yeah, so good luck ever landing where you want to land again, because I already have trouble finding the city that I'm trying to go to.
Yeah, but if you set a waypoint directly to something, it eliminates everything else from your HUD.
Yeah, I've still had trouble with that, but sure.
Yeah, I mean, when the star map decides to work, then yes. It is funny, because they've improved the entire UI experience, and it's gone from not really working to still not really working. But, you know, the new UI is relatively nice. Anyway, yeah. What I wanted to talk to you about was the Nature's Wrath video. So this had cloud improvements, the cloud formation and dissipation, which emulates the natural process using the planet's physically based data sets. There's also a new shading model for the deeper cloud lighting, so it's the light scattering multiple times within both clouds and atmosphere, etc. So it was sort of everything that they sort of showed into one little video. And you've watched it. What do you think?
I actually really like the look of it.
Yeah, it's a really cool clip. That's why I wanted to show it you. Yeah.
Yeah. So I like the weather effects. I'm sure this is playing in the background, so I'm trying not to give too much away for the later stage of this video.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I like the weather effects. I like how it, it affects all the lighting as well. That's really cool. It did make me wonder, because I did notice rain effects on my ships during IAE.
Yeah.
Like when we're coming through the cloud cover to land, and it covering the windscreen in rain. There's no way to clear that, or I didn't find a way to clear that.
No, there's not.
Is there going to be some way to clear your windscreen? Because
I've no idea.
I don't want to be flying blind.
I wonder that too, but
even if it's and heat, like, and it just heats it. And
do we know what aircrafts do at the moment when that happens? I mean, obviously, when I mean aircrafts, I mean sort of fighters. Obviously, things like the Boeing passenger planes, I think, have wipers. Or some of them may do. But you can't just put wipers on bloody spacecraft. It would look bloody weird.
Oh, no, it's raining. Oh, yeah, it's better now.
Yeah, maybe there is some sort of heat thing, as you mentioned.
Just to try and, move it off or something. I don't know. But
trying to evaporate it, yeah. I don't know.
Because obviously there's a way to wipe your visor already.
Yeah.
I found that accidentally as I was wandering around. But I need some kind of way to do that, because otherwise I feel like I'm going to be flying blind a lot. Or not blind, but it's going to make it difficult to view things from within the ship. And as much as I love sitting there and looking at the ship from the outside and playing with the camera and everything, realistically I want to be able to play from within the ship as much as I can.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what you probably didn't notice, actually, well, there's a very small detail, is which was right at the start of this clip, was the clouds are actually moving now. They're sort of not really moving at the moment. They're sort of static. So they're sort of moving with its own sort of weather system now, and the sort of dynamic weather that they're showing in this clip. So it's going to be a bit more unpredictable and stuff. Yeah,
I must admit, I didn't notice that when I was playing. And now I feel like I'm going to have to go and have a quick look to, see what that looks like and see if it's that obvious, and if I was just being really dumb not noticing it.
I mean, it is subtle, it's not...
Yeah. but
You don't
I feel
purposely
like
look for it, but yeah.
I mean, in the context of this clip as well, I feel like they've sped that up, a bit of a time lapse.
Yeah.
So it's probably not going to be as noticeable as it is in
Yeah.
that video.
Yeah,
But I wonder how aware we are going to be of that happening. Quite interesting. One of the things that, sorry, I've just seen watching through the video again, is quite cool to me, is the wind blowing your ship around as that Aurora takes off. I really like that. That's going to be an absolute pain in the backside whenever we're flying. You know, imagine coming down to a planet and be like, oh, and we've flown into a storm. Brilliant. Now I'm getting blown around.
Yeah.
But that's also really cool because it makes the world feel so alive.
Yeah, it was one of the things that they showed, not this year, but last year, about the extra turbulence effects, which obviously have sort of been implemented, particularly when you're using your afterburners as well. So that's sort of been implemented, and and also the turbulence between the air shield when you're landing in hangars and stuff as well. There's that sort of when you go through, there's that little bit more turbulence as well from being inside to outside as well.
I've got to be honest, I don't like that.
Yeah, it's a little bit difficult to get used to.
Harsh.
Yeah.
It feels, as you go through it, it feels too much like, and solid. Oh, I'm moving through. It feels too violent. That's the word I'm looking for. I think they need to tone that down ever so slightly. I don't mind a little bit of a, oh yeah, you've passed through something, fine. But it's just such a sudden jerk that it kind of...
Yeah.
I think it pulls me out of the immersion a little bit. Which is a weird word to use when you're talking about a space game, but you know what I mean.
I think weather stuff and systems like that is sort of an underrated thing that people are like, oh, it's just the weather system. But when you look at it like this, where it's really expanded, it really does expand the immersion and the experience that you get, because you've got to think of different things. Or do I want to fly through this weather system, or do I go around it as much as I possibly can, or do I just wait until it passes over, and that sort of thing. And obviously the cool thing that's probably already been shown is the fact that the poor little Aurora gets lightning striked and goes on fire and gets taken down, and even the Zeus that's been flown gets a bit of damage, you might notice on the heads-up display.
Oh, I didn't notice that. That's interesting.
It goes a bit red at the front, indicating the damage. But yeah, so yeah. Now, as much as I want this, they sort of discussed about GPUs and utilizing a bit more of that in CitizenCon this year. But as I said earlier, I really want them to start utilizing people's GPUs a bit more than CPU, because as I've said, my GPU only uses maybe 30, 40, 50% max sometimes, and I really want it to be less CPU intensive and more GPU intensive, like a lot of other games. Obviously, I understand the optimization isn't probably going to be there because they're still working on systems, and it's the last thing that any dev team does. But they do some sort of optimization with each sort of update. I must admit, it has got better to run Star Citizen than it has done, particularly, maybe 5-6 years ago. It's got better. It's not perfect. It's not going to be for probably a long time, but I just hope that at some points they say, okay, right, yeah, let's optimize some stuff for the GPU more and stuff like that, which is, they did sort of, hopefully in a year's time we'll have some more stuff like that. But yeah, because it's very frustrating, because obviously now I'm getting low memory or out of memory, so I'm having to use a virtual memory paging file which uses storage, unfortunately. And I'm on 32 gigabytes of RAM, which should be enough, which it has been, but up to now that's what's been causing my crash, unfortunately. And so, people are saying, that if you really want to run it without issue, 64 gigs of RAM is the way to go, but only for Star Citizen. There's no reason to have 64 gigs of RAM for gaming, because it's overkill.
It's crazy that it needs you to have that much.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Because I mean, I only have 32 because I obviously do graphics stuff, and it's the reason why I have an i9 as well, because that's more for the multitasking. An i9 does better at rendering and stuff like that which is obviously what I do more, which is why I opted for it versus the i7 and the 32 gigabytes of RAM. But even for rendering now, maybe I would up it to 64. But you know, also as a plus, I could run Star Citizen better at the same time. You know, but yeah, it's a bit of a shame. I think majority of people that have Star Citizen are running 32 gigabytes of RAM anyway. But
yeah, I've got 32 as well.
So it is a sort of a nice balance, but you know, it's funny now because I was looking at motherboards and stuff today and different specs, and I find it weird that some of the maximum are now 128 gigabytes of RAM, and I remember when the max that the RAM capacity was 64, and 64 was a dream once upon a time, you know. But now it's technology is really progressing. Like an i9 and a more modern i9 now has 20 cores. Do you know how many I have?
Wow.
My i9 from 2021 has 8 cores. 8. It has more than doubled in 4 years.
Jeez, that's so much.
It's mad. It's crazy. Yeah.
Well, look, Tom, I could let you talk about Star Citizen all day.
You could, and I would, but we have got other things to talk about.
We do. Should we talk about Game Awards?
Absolutely.
Let's start off with Tom. What was your game of the year?
My game of the year. This'll surprise you. Space Marine 2.
No.
Yep. Space Marine 2. My game of the year.
Good man. Good man. No doubts in your mind that Space Marine 2 is also my game of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I sort of knew that. Yeah. There's a reason for me saying game of the year. And I've sort of mentioned this before when we've talked about my experience with Warhammer. I'm obviously an outside person when it comes to the Warhammer franchise. Therefore, I actually don't have any, what I would call, franchise bias. Unlike you. You would have a franchise bias. And therefore,
no matter sell my soul for that game.
No matter what game you play this year, I think it would always be Space Marine 2 because you sort of have a bias. But I don't have a bias in this perspective. So I look at everything individually, graphics, story, you know, as much as you would want to do that, you're still going to say Space Marine 2 no matter what.
It's because it has the best story, and I will kill on this hill.
Yeah, so I look at gameplay and optimization and how it ran and all that kind of stuff. And out of every single new game that came out this year that I played, the experience from start to finish, apart from a few little bugs and blips, Space Marine 2 was the smoothest experience that I had this year at the high standard that I would expect anything to be. And that's why it's my game of the year, because I didn't need to fiddle around with settings. I didn't lag. I might have crashed once and had a graphical bug once. But after that restart, it was smooth sailing, because you would probably expect me to say Star Wars Outlaws. I'm betting.
No, do you know what? I didn't know. I didn't know what you would pick this year.
Yeah.
I know you've had your frustrations with Outlaws.
Yeah, I mean, the optimization wasn't the best on my 3-year-old PC. It should be able to handle it relatively fine anyway, but it was just very unoptimized in my experience, to the point where I can't recommend it for a game of the year. For other categories, absolutely, because there are some stuff that it does really well. But for game of the year, no, not really. Not really.
Yeah.
Yeah. So from an overall package point of view, Space Marine 2, was the one that was the smoothest experience. And it graphically looks great. It's got extra content for multiplayer. It's got a good roadmap. It's got a good roadmap. although the gameplay can be repetitive, it's it's good. It suits what the game is. Why are you shaking your head? It is repetitive. It is repetitive.
How dare you say a bad word about my beloved?
So you don't think that the gameplay is repetitive?
No, I think it's perfect in every way.
Okay, there's the Warhammer bias, ladies and gentlemen. Don't trust that. Don't trust this guy at being a journalist. Jeez.
Tom, I've never wanted a game more in my life. I spent 10 years. I waited for this. 10 years.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Also, it's a good point to mention. We're recording this podcast before the official Game Awards, so we actually don't know what's won officially. We just know what's been nominated and stuff like that. So we don't actually know what's won at all.
Space Marine is going to win in everything.
Even if it
hasn't been nominated, it's going to win.
About that, I've written down what it's been nominated for. It's been nominated for Best Action Game and Best Multiplayer. That's it. No Game of the Year for Space Marine 2? Nope.
Well, they're wrong. And I will fight them for the Game of the Year award. And I will deliver it to Space Marine 2 by hand if I have to. That game is perfect in every way. I made you put the clip in when we talked about it and I played it for the first time and made you put the perfect clip in, and I stand by that. It's the perfect game. Perfect in every way. Perfect.
Yes. But we can officially give Space Marine 2 the Fandom's Edge podcast Game of the Year, as we both agree on it.
This is like the Top Gear Awards. We actually agree on something. This is great.
Yeah. So, there was a little point about the official Game Awards. Now, obviously, I'm not particularly that much a fan, particularly from last year. The stupid wrap it up sign, which everybody memes them now with. Let them talk. Anyway, they did an announcement before they announced the nominees and announced who's nominated for the Game of the Year and all the other 26 categories I think is in total.
Right.
They said, "Oh yeah, just a reminder that DLC can be nominated for all the categories." And people were like, wait a minute. They've done this on purpose, haven't they? They've let us know on purpose, and that is because Shadows of the Erdtree, which is an Elden Ring DLC, was nominated for Game of the Year. Thoughts on a DLC being nominated, particularly for a Game of the Year?
Actually, I have a question first of all.
And
I'll do some Google food to find out. When did Elden Ring come out?
It wasn't this year, it was a couple of years ago.
That's what I was thinking about. 2022. There we
go.
go.
I believe it won its year.
But that's fine. But what I was going to say, and this is why I wanted to check what year it came out. If the DLC came out in the same year as the game, then I would say fine. Because it's still a new game, and if you're saying this part that they've released for it, fine. I can live with that. But for a 2-year-old game, no, they've had their show. I think they've had their bit now, and now, move on.
See,
kind of my thought.
I'm not fond of it because I think it takes up a slot of what could be put in that slot that was released that year. There could be a fantastic game. Oh, I don't know. Space Marine 2. Space Marine 2 could have been in that slot, or some other game that did really well this year, but it's been overshadowed by our DLC that's argued that there could be a separate category for best DLC/expansion of the year, because there are plenty of DLCs and expansions that come out in the year.
Exactly what I was just about to suggest.
Yeah.
Why not have, if you want to bring DLC in, fine. Let's recognise DLC, because developers put hours in, they put in the work.
Yeah.
People love DLC expansions. Sometimes they love it more than the original game. That's fine.
Yeah. But
then have a DLC of the year.
Yeah, and
or a game expansion, as you say, a game expansion of the year that people can then go, that's the one.
Yeah, because as I said, I feel it takes away from something else. I don't think it should be nominated for Game of the Year, the one category it should be excluded from.
But then also, there's a flip side to that argument as well. Because, okay, so they're saying that this DLC is good enough to go up against full game releases.
Yeah.
Right, fine. But also, if you're going to consider DLC, how many DLCs get overlooked that don't even get mentioned because they're not on par with a full game? They're good DLCs, but they weren't up to scratch with a full game that's released this year. So what? They're just irrelevant now. Well, we'll forget about it. Again, it's all about the game and the people that win, but also the people that get nominated. That's a massive honor in the first place. Yeah. To get a nomination and to get the attention of that, where people are going, because that's the thing. People might hear that and go, "Oh, do you know what? I hadn't thought about that. I might pick that up now." Yeah. So to have, say 4 or 5 DLCs nominated, that's going to get more people looking at them, more people picking them up. That's good for everyone involved. Yeah. So I think there's benefits to having, even if it's still not going to beat Shadows of the Erd Tree, you could still have another couple of DLCs alongside that then get some love, basically. I definitely agree with you. I think it should be separate, and they should have their own category. I don't see a problem with that, but I definitely think that's the way they should do it.
And I don't know if you've seen the actual nominees for Game of the Year, but there's a game in there that no one's really heard of called Balatro, and it's a card game that it's an indie game nominated for Game of the Year. Do you know how many people have made that?
I don't know, 3? 1.
This is this guy's basically showcase of what he can do as a game dev, and it has blown up so much to the point where it's been nominated for Game of the Year. So guess what I nominated in the player choice, because it's probably not going to win, and I've never played the game, but an indie game, an indie dev, a solo indie dev has a chance, even if it's a very slim chance, of winning Game of the Year. I'm going to take that over any other AAA title out there. Go indie devs. That's what I say. Go indie devs.
Yeah, do you know what? Go for it.
Yeah, it's probably not going to win, but it's up there. That's what matters. I do
agree with you about separating these out a little bit, because it doesn't feel fair to the other people who get nominated. An indie game is not going to hold up against a AAA title. No, even if it is nominated like Balatro. Yeah, it's just not going to happen. And good, it's great that we're bringing attention to that. Why not have an indie game of the year? Again, pick 4 or 5 indie games that did really well and were really good. And do you know what? They're surprising. But that also gets those developers more attention. It helps them to grow, put more games out there. Maybe they get taken on by another studio or a publisher. It's so strange to me that they would lump them all into just the one game of the year. They've already got a load of categories, sure, and I understand they might not want to add more categories. But surely in this sense, adding these only adds to the overall experience. I have a counterpoint to your point there. Because I've just looked. There are 26 categories, obviously, and I don't remember them all. So I've just had a look, and there is a best independent game. Oh, there is a category. Yeah. Oh, I stand corrected. And it is in there as Balatro. It's just also nominated for Game of the Year. Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I still think it's not fair putting it up against a AAA title, because I don't think it's ever going to beat a AAA title. No, because I was in a Discord when with a bunch of my friends when this happened. I was like, "Have you guys heard of this game called Balatro?" And they're like, "No, no one that I know has heard of Balatro." And we're like, "Well, it's been nominated for Game of the Year." Yeah, not sure about that. Yeah.
Yes. So I mentioned earlier about your nominations of, well, not your personal nominations, but the nominations for one of the games that you enjoyed this year.
It's me. I'm a judge at Game Awards. I make the decision. I'm totally impartial, and I don't know what's going to win yet. Space Marine 2. I have no idea.
I can imagine you doing every single category just Space Marine 2, even if it's nothing to do with that. Best.
These are the nominations for random games, and the winner is Space Marine 2.
Oh yeah, I've got all the list up here. The content creator of the year, Space Marine 2.
Space Marine 2.
The best sports racing game of the year, Space Marine 2.
Space Marine 2.
Yeah. Star Wars Outlaws has 3 nominations. Best performance from Humberly Gonzalez is her name, who plays Kay.
Okay, right, yeah.
Innovation in accessibility, which I do agree with. It's got a lot of accessibility options and all that kind of stuff to make it easier for those people that have the needs to utilize that. And the best action adventure game, which is it doesn't go against. It actually doesn't go against Space Marine, because Space Marine is actually best action game, not action adventure game. It's two different.
Space Marine 2.
It's 2 different categories.
Space Marine 2 deserves all of the awards.
Yes.
Podcast, I am not biased.
Absolutely not. No. There's two more categories that I think should be split, because I do a lot of this double on the genres. First of all is sim strategy. There is a few simulators that come out in the year, as we know, as simulator fans. But what do you notice about all these nominees here? They're all bloody strategy.
Yeah.
Do they know what simulators are? Evidently not. Not to disrespect all the nominees that have been nominated, but clearly there is a bias. There's been a few sims that could have probably got it, that have been decent this year. Flight Sim missed the cutoff, actually, because that launched after nominees. Not that it would have got it because of its terrible, terrible launch. Basically, guys, don't do always online games. It doesn't work. Anyway.
Do you know what? No, sorry, I'm just getting a really weird sense of deja vu here, because I'm sure we had this conversation last year, and I still agree with you.
Yes,
I agree with you. I think it should be separate.
We keep having this conversation, yes. And the conversation about always online, yeah.
You're right, though, because... Yeah, we've definitely had that conversation before. No, but simulation and strategy are so different as genres.
Yes, they can cross over, but, like, there are plenty...
It just doesn't make sense to mix them.
Like,
and if you're saying that they're mixed because of things like, I don't know, city skylines, well, yeah, great, but I'd throw that more in the simulation strategy game.
Yeah, it's
you know
more
what I mean?
of a
Like,
it's a management sim, really, is a city skylines or something like Prison Architect 2 or Prison Architect series, whatever. Yeah, you know what I mean.
It doesn't make sense to lump them together. I don't feel like that. Because what they're saying is, there's enough overlap between the two that realistically,
I think it's because the judges think that simulation strategy are so niche that it doesn't deserve its own category.
I think they're so off the mark if that is the case.
Yeah, and there's another one that is in the exact same position, which I discussed last year, which is sports racing. Yes, motorsport is a sport, technically, but majoritively, what comes out every year, usually, majoritively the sports games like FIFA, but now EA Sports FC, NBA. Is NBA a yearly thing? I don't know.
I think it is, yeah.
So Top Spin that came out, that's nominee for this year. I don't mind that being there because that's new. tennis game. And then you've got WWE. I don't think that's it's not like every 2 or 3 years or something. F1's every year, but there was a few maybe smaller racing games this year, but maybe some that maybe deserved a little bit of spotlight on Game Awards.
Do you know what?
You know?
Sorry, just looking at those nominations, they are all... Well, actually, no, you said one of them is not a yearly release, but they're pretty much all yearly release style games.
Yeah.
It just...
I feel they've been nominated for the sake of being nominated. Some of them.
Yeah, like, look, I'm not a big sports game kind of person. And whilst I like the odd racing game, I don't really do the F1 games, although I'm tempted to get back into them. I used to play them many years ago. But again, I don't really do them. But it's all games that have a new release every single year. And it's a bit like, if those are the nominations, it feels like you're not trying.
Yeah, because as I've said,
taking the cookie cutter games.
You know, I mean, a fairly decent AA game came out this year, but it really flopped, which is a game I was interested in, which was Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown. Does not deserve to be there. Everyone in the racing sort of gaming community was like, if that game gets nominated for Game of the Year, it's last year all over again with Forza Motorsport.
Actually, you say that. One of my friends picked it up.
Oh yeah?
One of my friends did pick it up, and I've played a little bit, and actually, I don't dislike it.
Oh yeah?
I'm tempted to get it. It's a bit of fun. Is it the best game out there? No, of course not. Is it the best racing game? No, possibly not. But is it fun? Yeah. I had a lot of fun playing it.
My issue was more the optimization. Obviously, I participated in one of the play tests early in the year, and that's what sort of... I was very unsure if I should get it, because I was like, it's one of those optimized games that wasn't very optimized when I played it.
Do you know what? So when I don't know how long it was after it came out that I played it now, but it was relatively recently. I think they've fixed a lot of that optimization, because I didn't notice any issues playing it.
What were you playing? Were you playing on console or was it PC?
PC.
Alright, okay. Obviously, it depends on the rig, but
yeah, absolutely. And
yeah.
I must admit, my mate does have a good PC, so it could just be that it was it was good enough and new enough that it could handle that. Like I say, it played really nicely. It felt like a lot of fun. The cars felt unique. I tried out half a dozen different cars. It felt good, and it played really nicely. And I was like, I probably would pick this up, actually. It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
See, because obviously I mentioned about the game a while ago, and I mentioned some of the aspects, and I remember you saying, oh yeah, I'm quite interested in that, because it's got the sort of more simulator mixed with the simcade stuff, like the indicators and putting your window down and stuff like that. That more simulator aspects to it, because that's what Test Drive is about. The new Ibiza Islands map is coming soon, actually.
Okay.
Because they're about to release that. It was just and particularly at launch, because it's always online, servers were horrendous apparently, and people that bought the early access gold edition a few days early from the official launch. The thing we don't like.
The thing you definitely don't like.
Oh yeah, I definitely don't like that. You're not.
I'm not as averse to it, but
you're definitely not for it that much.
I think it depends. If it's something I'm excited about, then I'm a bit like, I'll do it. But no, generally. Yeah,
basically the people that pay for early access couldn't play at all. Because the servers...
Yeah, I would be annoyed about that.
Servers going on. Everyone's like, can we have a single player offline mode? And they're like...
No.
Their response was basically, it's not possible. What?
They've built it so it's so reliant on the online requirement. Oh dear.
Ridiculous. Yeah, ridiculous, yeah. So that's why I was just really unsure, because I felt that if it's going to be one of these racing games that once you've finished everything and the world's going to be really empty and lifeless, Because that's how I felt with the playtest earlier. Yeah, I don't know how you felt when you played it a bit. Did you feel that the world was alive, or was it a bit more lifeless?
No, I mean, I only encountered NPCs, didn't encounter any other players.
Yeah.
But there was plenty of NPCs that it didn't feel dead.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it felt busy, but it definitely felt alive, and it felt like, there was a world there.
Yeah.
I wasn't just driving around an empty map, So I think the balance was right in that sense.
Yeah, so that's sort of why I was sort of put off with it. Because normally I would have, jumped at it, because I've not played a test drive game ever before, and I wanted to dive in. But with all the disappointing everything that's been happening around it, it sort of put me off a bit. But of course, I would be encouraged to purchase it if I could play it with somebody else, per se. Maybe somebody in this podcast.
Oh. Is that a hint to go and buy it then?
No, I'm just saying at some point in the future. I'm not saying buy it right now like you did with the Grease DLC earlier, but,
It's alright, I'm only looking at how much it is.
Yeah. Because it'll be quite nice just cruising around. I think one of the other complaints was it was very more racing focused, when test drive is meant to be not just racing, but driving and cruising. Although you can do that, all the events are basically racing. So
yeah, no, I have heard that. Not necessarily complaint, but
as
observation. Let's say.
Yeah. Like I feel that. Even as an outsider that's never played the game, I sort of know enough about Test Drive Unlimited 2, for example, to know that it's more than a racing game, because obviously all you have is the hotel at the moment, and they say, oh yeah, all that's coming soon, and I expected that to be in from the base game launch. But it's not, which is sort of a bit of a concern. Yes. Yeah. Right, moving away from the Game Awards. I asked Jay his top OSTs of the year.
Okay.
Because I wanted to feature... This is nothing to do with gaming, by the way. This is just any OST. For those people that are not cultured enough to know what an OST is, that is an original soundtrack.
Oh.
Too harsh?
Yeah. Just calling out our community. Jeez.
No, I don't think Jay would agree. I think Jay would say that's right on the money. I think. Yes. Soundtracks from games, film, TV, whatever. He's given his top 3 picks.
Okay.
His first one is Dr. Panos' Lament from Black Ops 6 Zombies soundtrack. Then Fisticuffs from Agatha All Along Volume 2 soundtrack from the Disney Plus series. And then this was a surprise. The Woods from the Pacific Drive soundtrack.
Jay's been secretly playing it in the background and not told you.
Well, no, he watched me stream it early in the year, remember? And that'll be why. Yeah, so that was a bit of a surprise.
Okay.
My choices. First of all, Star Wars Outlaws, particularly in general the entire soundtrack, but the highlight was the Trailblazer OST. That's a really good one. The finals soundtrack, the 3 versus 3 multiplayer, with the destruction and all that. I don't know if you remember. I've talked about it a couple of times. From the former Battlefield devs, Embark Studios.
Oh, okay.
The final soundtrack is really good, particularly the World's Greatest Game Show. It's a very short 50-second bit, but it's really nice. It's very game showy, and it's really sort of fun. And then Payday 3 Volume 1 soundtrack as well. Payday 3 might have a rocky start, but what it does have is a fantastic soundtrack, particularly No Rest for the Wicked. I really like that one. It's a good one. Yeah. And then we've got Joe's choices.
Okay. Number 1, I. Number 2, don't. Number 3, no. I don't know. I don't listen to the soundtrack. Do you know what? If you put me on the spot and I had to make a decision, Tom, I would choose the Space Marine 2 soundtrack. I think it should get an award for its soundtrack because the soundscape is beautiful.
To be fair, the menu song on Space Marine 2 is pretty good in the main menu.
It's all good. It's great. Do you know what? It should get an award. That's how good it is.
By the way, I'm going to take credit for the I don't know joke because I wrote it. He just read it.
That's fine. You're the writer.
Sorry to spoil everybody's immersion there, but I wrote that. I thought it'd be funny.
Just save that for the outtakes, but all right.
I thought it'd be funny. No. Anyway. So yeah, some decent soundtracks this year. Yeah. Yeah. To be fair, the Pacific Drive one overall is pretty good. Although I had streamer mode on when I was streaming that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I might have not heard everything. But the guy that does... I've forgotten his name. Is it Roger somebody? Who did the Pacific Drive soundtrack. He also did the soundtrack for Star Wars Outlaws.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And he did the soundtrack for Helldivers as well.
Oh, that's a good soundtrack. Now that... Oh.
Oh, now you've got a soundtrack that you like.
Ah, did that come out this year?
Yeah.
Oh, it did, didn't it?
Yeah.
All right, fine. Space Marine 2, Helldivers, position number 3. Position number 3 was really good.
Ah, yes. There probably is a song called Position Number 3. Yes. Anyway.
All right, Tom. Look, we've done our roundup of this year, sort of. Let's take a look at what's coming next year.
Yes. So, I in front of me have a list. A decently sized list of anticipated game releases and what's coming next year. Most of these are on my wish list. Am I going to get all of them? Probably not. Are some of them a bit of a question mark whether they are actually will be releasing next year? Yes. You know, we don't know. There's like been announcements for some of these, but not an actual confirmation if it is 2025 or not. But we'll see. The first one comes out in January. Although it's not an official 1.0 launch, it is an Steam Early Access launch. We've talked about it a couple of months ago. Assetto Corsa Evo. Of course. I'm excited to see what happens with AC Evo. You're sort of interested. I'm not expecting you to buy it right off the bat, but I think it will be something that you'd purchase at some point down the line.
Yeah, definitely somewhere down the line I will end up picking it up. But I think my interest in it is probably a bit more casual at the moment.
Yeah.
It's more so for Stop the Clock. If any of you haven't watched it, please go watch it on my channel. Nice little plug. Actually, no, do you know what? I feel fine plugging that because that's a collaborative effort between the both of us.
Yes.
So that's fine. I can plug that one. Tom did all the editing because I can't edit. I recorded some video and I did the voiceover and then Tom put it all together.
And I did all the camera angles because I had your replay files. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did all the motion graphics.
Literally, I just drove it and went, here's a file.
And
have at it.
And here's a voiceover. There you go.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. Here's my voiceover file. Here's the video file. Do what you want.
Yeah. It honestly, I think, depends, because one of the reasons why I suggested for you to do Stop the Clock on AC was because I knew AC Evo was coming, and I said that one of the good things you could do was transfer over at a suitable time. And it depends on the tools that we have in AC to do the cinematic stuff, but also the track, if the track's in, and all the different cars that would be available anyway. So, yeah. You know, at launch, maybe wouldn't be suitable, but maybe down the line, we'll see.
I mean, I think the way I'm looking at it at the moment is I will probably pick it up at some point, but it's probably going to be about a year into it being released before I switch over.
Yeah.
Because then I should have the things that I need to proceed with Stop the Clock on there.
Yeah, because, I mean, even if, but let's say it only had 20 cars, That's still a lot for Stop the Clock anyway.
That's not the bit that I'm worried about, though.
Oh, is it not?
No, I still want to continue doing it on Donington Park, or at least the hot laps.
Oh, that's not what I mean, because it's likely that Donington Park's still going to be in AC.
Well, Donington Park is a modded map, isn't it?
Yes, at the moment.
Yeah, so we'll have to wait for someone to do a mod for that. That's what I mean.
Well, not necessarily. Kunos have Donington Park. They've done it in ACC.
Oh, so they might port it over from that.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
because it was part of
okay.
it was part of their British GT pack, so they have all the British tracks in ACC, which they might port over to AC Evo.
Right. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, well, that changes things ever so slightly.
It's just the one that we use is a mod, I think.
Yeah.
But
that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't, if it becomes. To be honest, I think I will probably treat it as a start of a new lap times leaderboard.
Yeah, because obviously
I don't know how the new game will compare against the old game.
Because it's almost like resurfacing a track, because some of those areas would be faster technically, and if it's been fully newly not ray traced, that's not what I mean. Laser scanned is the word I'm looking for there.
Yeah.
It might be a bit different because we don't know how that one that we use is. I can tell from my experience in ACC that it's out of date. There are some maybe not necessarily the tarmac, but the signs and the marker boards and just the scenery. I can tell it's out of date. It's not as modernized as it is in ACC, but we'll get to that when we get to that. But there's a possibility of basically continuing it on. But even if it does have a small carpool, is what I'm saying, is it's still going
to be enough to keep us going for a while.
Yeah. Because they're going to be adding more content, more cars anyway. So, yeah. The second one, I'm still unsure if I'm going to pick this up, but we'll see. Civilization 7 is coming out in February. Obviously, one of the strategy games. I'm not a big strategy fan, as I've mentioned many times before. But when I played Civ 6 and a bit of Civ 5, yeah, it kind of took over my life a bit. I kind of got consumed. And Civ is like Monopoly. You think you're going to only be half an hour, but your entire day is gone. But wait, what? I've only played for 5 minutes. Yeah, that's what it's like.
Perfect.
The next one I want to highlight is Assassin's Creed Shadows, that also comes out in February. I've expressed my interest in this before. I just like the vibe of this new one. I like the aspect particularly of the Shinobi gameplay, the more stealth-based one.
Okay.
Of that character. I just like how everything sort of fits together. I've not played an Assassin's Creed game in quite a few years. I think the last one that I owned, was Origins. So that was quite a few years ago. I only pick up an Assassin's Creed if it interests me, and this one seems to interest me. You said you were a bit unsure, but kind of interested?
Yeah, I used to be a massive fan of the Assassin's Creed series. Like, I played those games religiously. And then it was around about Origins, I think, where I kind of fell out of love with it. I think I said to you before that I wasn't so much a fan of the RPG elements of it. I know a lot of people enjoyed that side of it, but just for me, that wasn't what I was interested in. I loved the kind of stealth mechanics, and I loved the story, and that was what drew me in. And it felt like it was less focused on the stealthy, assassin-y side, and more focused on just straight up combat and the RPG. And it wasn't the bit that I was interested in. I thought there were other games that I could play that did that better for what I wanted. Yeah. So I kind of, like I say, I kind of fell out of love with it a little bit. I'll probably end up going back to those games at some point and playing through them. Yeah. But it just makes me less excited for this one.
Yeah. The next one, Atomfall, comes out in March. This is what I'm looking forward to. Because it's based in the UK. But not just that. It's not focusing on London, which everybody just automatically goes to when it comes to the UK. Oh, London! No, this is up north. This is Cumbria, or what it was called before it was called Cumbria. Yeah, an rural area, basically.
But Tom, what do you mean outside? Nothing exists outside of London. What are you talking about?
Oh dear! Don't start this.
I couldn't resist.
Don't start this again. But no, I think it's nice them using an area that's not really been covered before, because I think people outside the UK will be able to see something that's a bit different. It's obviously based off the very first the world's first nuclear disaster, which everyone thinks it's obviously Chernobyl, but it isn't. The UK have the crown of the world's first nuclear disaster, which isn't exactly a crown that we want, but we have it.
Not what we were really aiming for, but
it was a natural disaster because a fire started inside and then they couldn't stop it, and yeah, it sort of spread, and I think it even spread over Europe, which was a surprise because geographically. Well, Cumbria isn't exactly near the sea. It's a little bit inland, and it's on the west, isn't it? Yes.
Yes, that's quite a way to.
Yeah.
Quite a way for it to travel.
Yeah. So obviously, it's based on that. There will be obviously some factual stuff in there, but it's got this supernatural twist to it as well. So. I'm sort of looking forward to see what they do, because obviously it's based in the UK and we don't get many of those, so I'm all for it. Yes, you were interested in it, but you told me before that you're gonna miss it.
Yeah, I don't know. It does look interesting, but I mean, the way I'm looking at it is, it looks like a Fallout-esque game. Kind of falls into that same kind of
people
idea.
saying it's Fallout in Britain.
Yeah.
But
the thing is, I bought myself Fallout 4 so that I could play Fallout London, the mod that came out, and I played it for about an hour, and I've not come back to it. I've not picked it up again. So it's one of those games where I'm like, do I think it's interesting as a concept? Yeah. Will I play it? I don't think I will. I'll pick it up. I'll probably play it for a little bit, and then I probably won't end up coming back to it. So I think it's probably a waste of me buying it. I'll probably just watch some stuff on it.
Is that maybe because Fallout is a slightly older game and it's a mod, not an official piece of content, maybe? Or is it?
I don't think that's a problem. I mean, I play plenty of older games as it is. I think, especially when it comes to mod, I've not been shy that I think modding keeps games alive. I mean, for example, look at Empire of War. Empire at War, rather. I've been playing that on the stream for months. I took a break to play Space Marine, but I've been playing that. And for me, actually, to be honest with you, I picked that game up late in its lifetime. And I've only played the mods. I wasn't interested in the vanilla game. I played it for the mods, which is kind of what I've done with Fallout. But I just haven't come back to it. So yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know why, but I feel like I'm probably gonna have a similar relationship with Atomfall. So I might just watch some stuff on it and see if that makes me pick it up or not.
That's right. Yes, the next one we both want. We both want now. It's not happening now.
No.
Rotorcraft, which is from the developers behind SnowRunner. We basically build roads. It's a bit of construction.
I really like the look of this. So excited.
I can just imagine all the SnowRunner sort of esque maps, but no roads, and you've got to put all the roads in. That's basically the concept for Roadcraft.
That's absolutely fine.
And
I will happily make roads all day long.
Yes. When eventually, maybe I don't know. Actually, this game will come out by the time we've by the time we finish the current Russian map, because...
Don't talk to me about that map. I want nothing more to do with that map.
For those people that are unaware, we've on our Studio Net Talking streams, we've got to probably one of the hardest ice-based maps in SnowRunner. We're very, very behind. We're in like the 4th or 5th map, I think. Yes.
No, you're right. Fourth map.
Yeah, the 4th map. We're very behind. We're trying to catch up. That's the point. But yes, very frustrating. It's yeah. We're gonna have GTA 10 before we finish that map. Just that map alone.
Don't even go there. That upsets me.
The next one that's sort of coming out is Mafia: The Old Country. Now, I'm sort of interested in this because I played Mafia 3. I haven't played any of the other Mafias, but I played Mafia 3. Maybe not the best Mafia game, but, you know, relatively, I have an interest in it, right? I wouldn't say I'm super excited. It's a Mafia game. It usually does fairly well, but we'll see. You know, you said you're not interested in it because you've not played the Mafia games, but maybe this is your maybe it's your entry into the Mafia games, you know?
I mean, could be, but I wouldn't put money on it.
I believe this might be a prequel, actually.
Oh, okay.
I think it's way before the other 3 games. Yeah. I don't think that should be an excuse not to buy a game, Joe. I'm just saying, because you said that for a couple of these. Oh yeah, I've not played this game, so I'm not going to play this one. You don't need to.
I don't need encouraging, Tom. Don't need encouraging.
Yes, you do. Always.
I have enough expensive hobbies.
Motor racing. I'm going to say no more. Right.
No. No.
Sorry, when you said, oh, I don't need encouraging, that's the first thing that came into my brain, and I was like, yep, I'm going to say that. I'm going to mention that now. Yep.
That's right, I'm just looking on the Moser website.
Anyway.
Oh, look, the Black Friday deals are still on.
Oh, well. Isn't that good? You can buy a Moser wheel. And, yes, this man will need therapy and maybe a hospital after his girlfriend's done with him. But he should be okay for using the wheel, right?
No, because I'll be missing limbs.
Anyway, moving on. Forget I said anything about Moser. Actually, don't forget. The next pit. The next pit is a bit of a it's a sore subject for me. Prison Architect 2.
Right.
It may or may not come out next year. It got delayed. It was meant to come out, by the way, in like March this year, and then it got delayed, and then it got delayed again, and then the British studio that was working on it decided, we're having none of this, we're moving off the project. A Brazilian dev team has come in, they've taken over, and it was delayed indefinitely, and we don't know when it's coming out, and I really want it to come out, but who knows. It might be 2025, but yeah, I want to play a 3D Prison Architect with levels, you know, stairs, and it's just cool. Anyway, it's probably not going to live up to the original, like City Skylines, but anyway. Next, Wreckfest 2. Perfect game for me and you, because it's the name of the game, and we don't actually need to be good drivers, and therefore it's perfect for someone that is a hazard that is me, because I can just wreck into somebody else and it doesn't matter because it's part of the game.
It's not an excuse, Tom.
It's in the game name. I've every right.
Bad.
Have you played Wreckfest 1, by the way?
I don't think so. I think I've seen videos on it, but I don't think I've
See, I remember it was a tech demo, and it was just basically destroy your car, and the physics were fantastic. And then it became a game, which was cool. The next one, City Car Driving 2.0, is a sequel to City Car Driving, coincidentally. You wouldn't have thought. Actually, the original was actually on your wish list, by the way, but you've just not bought it.
Yeah, do you know when I added that to my wish list?
When?
When I was learning to drive. I remember someone at work recommended it to me, like, oh yeah, you should try that, you know, it'll give you a bit of an idea. And I was like, do you know what? Why not? Sod it, let's add it. And then I never picked it up. So I'm probably never going to pick it up, but...
I don't know, you might pick up the second one at some point. It was actually meant to come out in September this year, but they delayed it. Yeah. It might be fun just to do some driving, but virtually. You know? It'll be fun. It's our sort of simulator, isn't it though? Just driving around.
Well, I was gonna say it's basically why we play Euro Truck, isn't it?
So yeah. Exactly.
We just enjoy going for a drive.
Yeah. Right. The next one. I want to know your reaction to this. I've saved this because you don't know anything about this. PAX. Post-apocalyptic courier service co-op delivery simulator. It's a mouthful. That's why it's called PAX.
Right.
Joe, imagine a world.
Oh, here we go. Announcer voice.
Imagine a world of SnowRunner and Euro Truck combined into one game. There you go.
Okay.
Plus survival elements. And I think base building as well, isn't it? As well. Thoughts? Yes.
You have my curiosity, sir.
I thought so. Yeah.
Sorry, I mean, you had my attention. Now you have my curiosity.
Yeah. Yeah. Plus, co-op. Fantastic game for a Tuesday night trucking.
Actually, yeah, that works very well.
Although it might not actually be actual... Oh, I suppose it is trucks, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose the word courier could mean anything. It could mean a van, but still.
I mean, it looks like trucks.
We can stretch the rules a bit, I think. Even if
No, it looks like... I've watched the trailer. It looks like trucks.
Yeah. So that's going to be coming out at some point in 2025 into early access. So... It looks really cool. It's funny, I didn't find this. A friend found this, sent me to it, and be like, this is your sort of game. I was like, yeah. And
yes, it is.
Yes, it is, yeah. Yeah. And you also get to scavenge for parts from Pay Your Vehicle, which is cool. Yeah, so it's got some sort of extra survival elements, which will be very cool. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's up to 4 players as well, so it's like SnowRunner multiplayer as well.
Yeah. Okay, alright.
So yeah, interested in that. Very much getting, yes. The next one has been on my radar and was actually meant to come out. It's another game that was meant to come out this year. It got delayed, which is JDM, Japanese Drift Master. It has a demo at the moment, actually, so you want to try it out. It's got some...
Wow, sorry. How many games at this point in time have a demo?
Not many, but yeah. There are a few here and there.
Wow. I know, but it used to be demos were the norm. Oh yeah, I've made a game and I want people to buy it. Here's a demo, go buy it.
I think it's maybe because this is an indie dev or indie devs. I don't know how many people are working on this, but it looks pretty good. Obviously, it's around drifting and all that kind of stuff. And I know you like your Tokyo Drift, so this is. So.
I wonder if you know. Actually, no, I can't do that on the podcast.
Don't worry, you're not good enough to be copyright struck.
Oh. Well, that was uncalled for.
But you like drifting, I'm assuming. You like JDM. It might be a racing game you can pick up. I think it's.
Oh, I do actually. It does sound quite interesting. Actually, this is going on my wish list.
Yeah, I think it might be multiplayer as well, so we might be able to do tandem, maybe.
Ooh. Okay.
Can't remember, but it is simcade physics, so it's not full-on simulator, but it'll be good enough for
That's fine.
a controller, let's say. So
that's fine.
Although, let's be honest, we would probably try wheeled as well. But yeah, open world as well.
This does seem like the kind of game that I would want a controller up, because then I can just relax and kind of enjoy playing it.
Yeah.
I feel like if I've got my wheel on, I'm try-harding.
Yeah. And yeah, from people that play like the demo and stuff, and yeah, it's been good reception. Very good reception. Which also reminds me, I haven't put this on the list, but this was an old game franchise of Tokyo Extreme Racer.
Okay.
This was something that I didn't have a look at or played way back when. Have you sort of heard of it?
No.
Well, it's coming back.
Okay.
So there's you'll like it, because again, you like your JDM, you like your Tokyo, but it's racing.
Okay.
So that's coming out next year as well. Yeah, let me grab the link, because I'm organised. Let me put that in there. There you go. There's the link for it. So you remember I said about the Shikoku Revival Project mod in bloody AC?
Oh, yeah.
It's basically like that, but it's its own game.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. So it's all in Tokyo, all JDM, yeah. Car community got really excited when this was announced, and it was out of the blue as well. We're like, oh, we didn't know this was happening, but yeah, it's happening. It's there.
Fair.
The next game that's coming out next year is Jump Ship. This might interest you. It is a PvE game with spaceships and controlling your own ship and managing your own ship, of up to 4 players in co-op.
Yeah, I'm watching the trailer, and I do kind of like the look of this.
Some of my friends said, "Oh yeah, I think we'll like this," and I watched it. I was like, "Oh my god, yes!" Because this ain't PvP. This is PvE.
Okay.
So it's against the bots, but it should be a good
I can get behind that
experience. Yeah. Whether you'll have time for playing all these games, I have no idea. But
No, absolutely not.
But I can always pique your interest in these sorts of games anyway. Yeah. I don't know. It looks cool. It looks good.
Yeah, it does, definitely. I'm just watching the trailer. I really like the look of this.
Because it's all about managing all your different ship systems, and there's different sort of areas and stuff that you will control, I think. Because I think there's some sort of engineering gameplay as well, even if it's on a basic level. Controlling everything, which is cool. So, yeah. I think
I like it.
As well as the trailer, I think they've done a full gameplay video as well at some point on their YouTube channel. So it might be worth having a look. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Cool. The next one that's coming out for next year is Kingmakers. This is a goofy game. Very goofy game.
Such a dumb game.
Imagine medieval times, right? But you add in all the modern stuff that we have. Trying to explain a vehicle, a car, a sports car, or an RPG, or an assault rifle to a knight. Yes, it's basically that.
It's so dumb.
It's so
it
dumb.
Looks like fun.
But it's, I think it's going to be a fantastic, great experience. That's going to be really goofy. Is this thing co-op? It is. Oh my
gosh. God.
I'm not saying bin off Tuesday Night Trucking for this, but can we bin off Tuesday Night Trucking for this? Because this is going to be absolutely hilarious.
No, we will play it, but we're not binning off Tuesday Night Trucking.
Oh, why not? We need to stream this together. This will be funny. Absolutely hilarious. Yes. I am gonna go to your list now before we go to the last game, because the last game's special, as we know. June Awakening is what you're looking forward to, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah, so June is a recent revelation for me. Earlier on this year, I picked up the first book. And I'll be honest, I've not gotten that far into it. It is a bit slow to get started, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But it's one of those classics where so many people have recommended it to me because it is so influential on sci-fi as a genre. It was explained to me that Dune to sci-fi is what Lord of the Rings was to fantasy. When you talk about fantasy these days, every fantasy setting that comes out now has callbacks to Tolkien. And you can see those influences. It's changed the whole landscape of fantasy. Well, Dune did the exact same thing for sci-fi.
Yeah.
People compare Warhammer to Dune, and there are a lot of influences on it. And Warhammer is a long-standing franchise. I mean, even Star Wars has influences in Dune.
Yeah.
It's massive. So it's one of those things where I found the book. It was cheap. I've got to get it, and I've got to get into it. I also watched the film, the first one. I don't think I've seen the second one yet. Obviously, that came out relatively recently as well. And I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
So I'm a bit like, after watching that and reading some of the books so far, I'm like, I want to play something. And then they announced this game. So I'm really excited for this to come out. It looks really fun. It looks like it's going to be a little bit MMO, I think, is the plan.
Yeah.
Very open world, which I love the look of. You're going to be able to build like your own bases on Arrakis. Yeah, it looks like a lot of fun, and I'm really excited to get my claws into it. Yeah,
a couple of friends want it, including David. So if there's anybody else that, if you need somebody else, I'm sure David will hop on with you as well.
Yeah, that's cool. Definitely.
Because they're looking forward to it. To me, I've not really been it. It's funny, as a sci-fi fan, I'm not interested in Dune. Don't know why.
Oh, really?
It's just not interested in me at all. I don't know why.
Okay. I mean, fair enough. You could be wrong, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I might like it if I watch the film or something.
Yeah, have you not seen the film?
No.
No, so I think it was the film that really got me into it. Like I say, reading the book, it's very slow, but I found the same with reading Lord of the Rings. I found that was really slow to get going, and I'm not going to lie, I struggled to get into it myself. But that said, I love the Lord of the Rings films. I love what it's done for fantasy, and again, I'm kind of getting that same love for Dune at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's because I'm so protective over Star Wars. I don't want something else to overtake Star Wars, or be better, or it to be better than Star Wars, because I love Star Wars so much.
I don't think it will be. I think you'll see influences, definitely.
Yeah.
And I think you would enjoy Dune, definitely. But I don't think it would, I'm falling in love with this world, but I still love Star Wars more.
Yeah.
It's not going to replace that for me.
Yeah. I mean, that was just a thought. That was just a thought that I just came up into my head, but because I just haven't watched it really. Hasn't really.
But no, I do think you would. I think you would enjoy it. Definitely check out the films.
Yeah. Right. The last most anticipated game of 2025 is probably going to break the internet, and therefore you know exactly what I'm about to say. Grand Theft Auto 6 for winter.
It's coming.
/4 for 2025.
So excited.
there's going to be international, worldwide reduced productivity when that game comes out, because everybody's going to be downloading it and calling in sick because they want to play.
I'm taking time off work for that.
Because they're going to be playing GTA 6.
I am booking time off. As soon as I find out what the release date is, I'm booking that week off.
It's funny because everyone was expecting another trailer. Now, we don't know if a trailer's going to appear on Game Awards, because as we know, Game Awards is a trailer fest in itself as well now, unfortunately. Yeah. So they might do it that, but it's been over a year since the last one, which I sort of pointed out the other day in a couple of Discords. I said, just a reminder, the trailer one's over a year old. Yeah, and a former Rockstar employee around this time of people mentioning all this was basically saying that's Rockstar's tactic. It's their marketing tactic of do nothing, because they like the fan theories and them drumming up the hype themselves, because the fans hype up GTA themselves. They don't need to do anything. It's smart marketing.
It's one of those franchises where at this point in time it sells itself.
Yeah.
All they had to do was announce that they were working on the game, and everyone's gone mad over it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're right. They don't need to do anything now. It markets itself.
Yeah.
The community markets it for them. It's insane. I don't think there's a lot of franchises that can claim they are that successful.
Yeah. We might get maybe 3 trailers at a push. I think maybe the next trailer will get a date, maybe. If we don't get it at Game Awards, I reckon we'll have another one. Because, I don't know, would they do a one per year up to the release, maybe? I don't know.
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think. So if it's been a year since the first trailer, then potentially it would make sense to do one before the end of the year.
Yeah.
Whether that's at Game Awards or separately, I think it would make sense to drop another trailer, keep that hype high.
Even if it's a teaser. Yeah.
Yeah, whether they will give us a release date or even more of a release window to kind of narrow it down within 2025, I don't know. But I think we will see more promotional material come out, whether that's trailers or whatever else, in the run-up to the game. Once we get a lot closer, we'll start to see a lot more drop. That's my prediction. I could be very wrong.
Yeah.
But I think that's the way this will go.
But now the question is, for those people that are primarily PC gamers, are you going to do what's called as double dipping? That's the question, isn't it?
Oh, Tom. See, Tom, I don't have the latest generation of consoles. So if I want to do this, I'm going to have to go out and buy a console specifically to play GTA. That's bad.
Because the thing is...
It's really bad.
I know it's bad, but the thing is, can you wait a year, and can you wait that long for...
No, I can't.
To avoid spoilers and everything?
I don't have that much self-control. It is the thick and thin of it. I will go out... This thing. So I've wanted to pick up the Xbox Series X for a while.
Yeah.
But every time I go and look at it, it's about £400 or £500. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not dropping that kind of money. I will go and get the Series S because it's a lot cheaper, just to download GTA and never play anything else on it, because I can play everything else on my PC at this point, right? I don't need to.
Yeah.
But I will pick up a Series S just so I can play GTA. How dumb am I?
See, as people know, I have a glorified USB charger. It's very big. It's about this big, maybe. It's white and black, and it sits this way, and it's got a little P logo on it. It's also called a PlayStation 5.
How much are they going for at the moment? Let's have a quick look.
Oh,
I can get one for about £300.
Yeah, probably because the Pro's out now, which is don't get the Pro. It's not worth it.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
They used some marketing jargon when they announced that a few months ago, and everyone's like, yeah, the difference between the PS5 and the PS5 Pro isn't actually that great. All that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Oh, dear. I've just noticed I've lit myself up as I've opened the Sony store.
Yeah. Because, white is kind of their colour scheme.
Yeah, should have thought of that.
Yeah, anyway. Yeah, I mentioned this before, and I'll say it again. I bought this at the time where some of the PlayStation 5 exclusives weren't on PC, and then they decided to put them on PC. So it was also because I was put on... It was at the time where there was a list. You had to be put on a list because it was all the scalpers and all that kind of stuff. I didn't expect to be picked at all, but I got picked, and I thought, well, here's my opportunity. And also, there was meant to be the new Knights of the Old Republic game meant to be coming out, and Eclipse coming out, and it was going to be a PlayStation exclusive. And I thought, I'm not going to wait till PC release. Just like you with GTA, I'm probably going to be the same, but I'm in a better situation than you because I don't need to splash out an entire console. I can keep this here and pay for GTA 6.
Yeah, well, some of us haven't bought a console yet, so we have to.
Yeah, David's thinking about it. That's why he was like, well, if there's online, what console are you going to be on? Because just in case there's not crossplay, there probably is going to be crossplay, but I want to be on the same system as you.
Yeah, it does seem to be more of the done thing now, the crossplay. But it'll be interesting to see if they do. Even if it's a little bit delayed, that's fine, because I'm going to play the campaign first. It'll probably take me a little while to get through that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm actually looking at getting the Series S now. Literally looking at getting it at the moment. Like, what is wrong with me?
You won't be the only one, and Rockstar knows this. They know exactly what they're doing. But also, console get to beta test it for us. So,
there's literally there's an Argos down the road that I can pick one up from. Oh, what is wrong with me?
I'm not going to answer that question, but yeah.
Oh, there's a used one that's cheap on eBay.
Yeah, but it's used.
Oh, right. Well, Tom, you think I care about
that? Probably not, actually.
No.
Probably not. But yeah, I'll have that. Thank you very much. Yeah.
The point here is it's cheap.
Yes.
It's cheap. Well, look, I think we've talked about enough today. So we'll probably wrap things up there. Quite a lot to look forward to next year. I am quite excited for at least a few of the things on that list there.
Yeah.
Actually, probably more than I first thought I was, having first looked at your list. Yeah, no, 2025 should be a good year, and hopefully you guys will join us as we go into, what's this going to be, season 3 of the Fans Edge podcast?
Technically season 3, but we don't actually reset the numbers for the podcast, so...
No, but...
It's technically
season 3.
Technically season 3, yeah. That's if we're still doing it next year, right? We are doing it next year.
Well, I assume we are.
We've not discussed it.
Don't drop that one suddenly, Tom.
Well, I still want to do it.
So do I. Right.
Let's sort it then.
There you go, listeners and watchers. Tom just dropped that bombshell. We are still doing it next year, so come back and join us.
Also, people that are on my Maverick RNG channel, you are no longer going to be seeing the podcast on my channel. So no, I'm dropping it, but I'll still link it in the community tab page. It's just because we introduced the YouTube channel a bit late, so you can find it on there, the YouTube version. I just don't see it because I do.
You rode the year up, basically.
Obviously we introduced YouTube channel this year, and I'm now uploading it on 3 channels, and it's a different thumbnail style. It breaks up my other videos to the point where I'm like, I don't want it to be there. As much as I want to utilize the YouTube podcast playlist, special podcast playlist that's there, I just feel that now we've got a dedicated channel, I may as well just reduce my workload and work smarter than harder, because even on my internet, with the length that they are, they're quite beefy files. So it does take it takes quite a while for me to upload it with quite decent internet. So yeah, I sort of want to reduce the workload, but also it makes sense for my channel, because also my channel's all about racing and simulation stuff, and there's a lot of stuff that we don't talk about that stuff a lot sometimes, and sometimes we do. So for content wise, it doesn't make sense either.
On the flip side, it's still going to be going on Familiar Force because I don't make videos, apparently. I just do streaming.
Well, you do, because Stop the Clock started, but...
Yeah, well,
yeah.
All right, but... yeah.
Basically, if you're watching on my channel, go and subscribe to the Fandoms podcast on YouTube.
If you're watching on Familiar Force, keep watching. Right, okay. Right, look, we'll come back to our madness in the new year. First of all, guys, as I said at the start, hopefully you'll have a wonderful Christmas. I know this is coming out just before, so that's coming up for all of us. And I hope you guys have a good new year as well. Thank you for joining us for our ramblings throughout the year. If you are enjoying it, please do make sure you give us a follow, a rating, and a review on the podcasting platform of your choice. Whichever one that is, wherever you find us. The next podcast is the 29th of January 2025. God, that's weird saying that. It's too early. And you can stay up to date with the podcast by following us on all of our socials. We can find on Instagram, YouTube. Just search the Fandoms podcast and you will find us somewhere in the interwebs. We can also both be found on Discord, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. There will be links in the description for all of our channels. Generally, you can find Tom under Maverick RNG and myself under Familiar Force. We will see you next year
on the Fandom's Edge.